Alrighty. Recording in progress indeed. Alrighty. And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode 53. And yes, while both of our teams might be eliminated officially, there are still only 3 NFL games left. So you need to still cherish them. Cherish them at every opportunity. It's like that John Goodman, that commercial when he's like narrating the bus. He's like, one day it's just gonna be a cold day in Buffalo. And sure enough, now it just is with them being eliminated. So thank you as always for tuning into No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button, but only after you hit the like button. Maybe share us around, tell your friends, tell the refs that were officiating the Bulls game the other day, and hopefully they are just, hopefully they're stuck at home after that awful performance. But I digress. You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates, and every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports Live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here. Finally, subscribe over on YouTube and like on the X-Bomb Sports. No longer on the Facebook page, actually. They just got booted for some extra whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, they'll get it back though. He's working to get it back. Going live there for Bad Karma Wrestling. Me and host Double D had a great show today, so be able to check that out over on the Twitch side of things at least for now, and we'll get back to the other side. So there you have it. So much to
To
talk
talk
about.
about.
So
So
much to
much to talk
talk
about.
about. Oh yeah, we'll get there. It's just that Zoom delay. That's just it always fucks us up. Sorry for the delay, as always. I had my first paid gig as a freelancer. Mike was still recovering from the Packers, so we'll be recapping all those games, previewing the NFC and AFC championship. Also is in the process. Next, NBA All-Star starters were announced last night. We'll get to those. Uh, we'll get to all any snubs as well. See if anyone went ahead and just didn't deserve it with the starters. We'll see what happens. Got a little White Sox news. We can touch upon that. Finally, some disgusting Vince McMahon news. It usually is with him. Just in time for all the positive news that surfaced with the WWE. So there's that. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat underscore Streams. That's with a Z, Mikey J. Fat Cat. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a good day, good week all around. A little delayed podcast on this one, but we're able to get it rocking and rolling now, and
That's okay.
yeah, ready to talk about all these things,
Yeah.
especially the Packers.
No, yeah, exactly. I was able to make the upgrade. So we got the Adobe what is it called? Premiere Pro on here, so I can do a little editing at home, and it'll be up on YouTube before you know it. So
Wow.
so yeah, it's all good. So no need for the apology on oh, we can still obviously still apologize for the delay, but just in time still. Got Royal Rumble tomorrow. Still got, like I said, we got the Sunday games, NFC, AFC Championship. We can still smack in a little gambling, as I mean, it'll be as up to date as it can be now with the lines that are still up to date, still ready to go. So that's still good. But got one little appetizer. As long as you're good to go, as long as you're all ready to roll, and then
Yeah.
we can get on into this. An interesting one. I mean, again, it was kind of fell to the wayside, but kind of came back. The Chicago rat hole, or some are speculating that it is a squirrel hole. They think it's more than likely a squirrel hole, but that doesn't get as many clicks. The Chicago rat hole is making its rounds on the internet still, I think, I hope. At least it's like a Chicago urban legend, and I
Mm.
mean, it's there. It's definitely there. People are getting married in front of it. For crying out loud, Benny the Bull had a little promotion in front of it. He was dumping popcorn inside of it. I don't really know what to make of this. Other than, just Chicago staying as classy as can be, obviously. But I did also see the note. Hopefully, you are being as respectful as you can be when you do go visit the rat hole. Pick up your cigarette butts, pick up your little shooters because people are just drinking in front of it and getting, like I said, getting married. This is absolutely insane. And I just love when the internet runs wild. But again, be respectful if you're still going to go over there and take pictures. Any thoughts, questions, concerns on the rat hole, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean this was ridiculous. I saw a picture of it on social media the other day, but I did not know. all these stories that went into it. I mean, yeah, and just this headline on NBC News had me laughing when I looked it up earlier. It was a rat-shaped hole brings chaos to Chicago street. It's tormenting neighbors. And then
They're
yeah, the other
they're complaining of honking, people honking as they're passing by, just saluting the rat hole. Like we've mentioned, like I've mentioned like three times already. People getting married in front of
yeah.
the rat hole. People having like seances. Also, there've been reports of weird like salutes and people lighting candles for the rat hole. People are just going crazy. The one, like I said, the one post that is going viral, whether that is someone that is actually concerned or just trying to be funny, at the end of the day, be respectful. Like these people are still living there. The guy is at the end of it is like, I'm just concerned that there's going to be a brick thrown through my house, through my window. So I mean, yeah, I mean
Yeah, that
it
would
is
not be good.
Chicago. It is Chicago at the end of the day. So just
That's ridiculous. I mean, definitely way over the top, but people are gonna do what they do, man. I don't, as long as they're not fucking around with the neighbors. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
but just try not to have late
Oh
night
yeah.
parties at the like why like just causing a ruckus at the rat hole. Why?
There's people drinking in front of their house. They can't get in or out of their apartment, and they're getting bombarded also by the news reporters that want to get interviews of people that live in front of the rat hole.
How's it feel to live at the rat hole?
Get away from me. I
It
just
just
like
shows
that's just so
people just
funny.
latch on to any story, and it's just like they latch on to anything and just roll with it. I mean, like this, like you said, this is probably a squirrel. I don't even. No,
That's
actually,
that's what
the
people.
tail, the tail makes it seem like it would be a rat. A squirrel wouldn't have a tail like that.
Yeah, that's what people are going both ways with it. It could go either way. I like I said, I understand. There's I'm good with rolling with the rat hole. Like it says, it sounds a little more trashier when we're trying to clean up
Yeah,
Chicago, but it is what it is. A more powerful that I think it'll always be. Who where is it? Where did it go? Where did it come from? We'll never know where that rat came from. So that's the mystery. We'll love that. We'll love that forever. So Chicago rat hole. I don't I would I'm not going to encourage to go people to go visit, but if you're just so happen to be in the neighborhood, then go by. Don't go out of your way to go visit the rat hole.
yeah, I agree.
Hey babe, I got a date idea. Let's go
Yeah,
to
this
the
shouldn't
rat
be like
hole.
someone's Saturday night or something. Like we're gonna go drink up, get BYOB, rat hole. Like, no, dude. Go
Oh
to a
my
bar,
God.
go to someone's house.
That should be a bar name. Call it the rat hole. Oh my
Yes,
God. Open a little dive bar, call it
we
the rat hole.
trademarked that, so
Oh, that's
if anyone
perfect.
tries to take it, it's ours.
I'll try. Oh shit. Well, from the rat hole to the rats that were on our TV. No, I'm just kidding. The NFL is great. NFL, all the playoffs. If you're ready to roll on that, we can talk some playoff ball. We can recap the divisional round. You can talk a little about your Packers, your send off to the squad. And like I said, we'll preview the AFC and NFC championships. So how's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alrighty, so we'll go in chronological order for the divisional round recap, just to lightly touch upon these games. And like I say, you can give your farewell. Divisional round Saturday and Sunday, but this was really the Saturday games first. The number one seeds went ahead and took the main stage, and all eyes were mostly on the Niners. On that was a fun night on nightcap, but we'll like I said, Ravens Texans took were up first. Ravens, yes, they made it a game. Texans went ahead and did for a little bit. No offensive touchdown, but it was that punt return for a touchdown that, like I said, kind of gave them some way, some hope. But the Ravens defense, they like to smother you, and they did so in that. Lamar Jackson went ahead and had a day. Over 250 yards, four scores, two through the air, two on the ground. I mean, some are gonna say that he still doesn't deserve the MVP, or some are saying he's overrated. I mean, until I guess I get it until he gets the playoff wins that'll come when it does. But I think he's right there. He's a superstar. He's an absolute stud. So the naysayers are crazy. Ravens just went ahead and dominated it in the second half. Any thoughts, questions, concerns on that one?
No, yeah, it was all second half Ravens 10-10 at half, and Ravens just came out and cooked them up in the second half and let them breathe, and Lamar Jackson gets it done, and that's what DeMarco Davis, I think, is the coach's name on the Texans. He said after the game, he's like, that's why Lamar's the MVP right now. And players, you get it done. MVPs get it done. And Lamar got it done in that game. And I think that's one of his first home wins
I
on
think
the
so,
Ravens.
yeah.
So,
He was only
yeah.
1-3. I heard it. Joe Buck kind of like made a compliment sandwich out of it. He's like 1-3 in the playoffs. Got it done during the season and got paid. Lamar Jackson getting it done. I'm like, oh my God, that's your like, that's how you're ending the commercial. That's how you're going into commercial break, dude. That's kind of fucked up, but whatever.
A
Uh,
typical Joe Buck.
but yeah, I mean, he's a stud. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, and I love that we're gonna get this matchup. But we'll talk Bills and Chiefs in just a second. Uh, I didn't catch a ton of it. I was having a Windy City game, but like I said, caught a little bit of the recap. Just seemed like we said, Lamar Jackson just had a day, and
Yeah.
the run game, super dominant in a just what was some were speculating that it was going to be windy, and sure enough, it was. But both these guys, C.J. Stroud and Lamar Jackson, have a cannon of an arm. I mean nothing to harp on the Texans. They'll be back. I mean they were going on house money anyways with being advancing into the round
Yeah.
like they did. So good on them. They'll make changes and even more improvements to this team, and it'll be super fun to watch CJ Stroud throw to more talent and have a defense that can keep up and keep them in games. So that was ultimately my takeaways from that game. So if you're good on that, talk a little how about Niners Packers? How's that sound?
Yeah.
All righty. Pack or Niners went ahead, took the win 24-21. Uh I don't want to rub it in your face, but I kind of mentioned it. I think I said it on the pod, but I think I might have just said it while we were over. I'm like, you gotta watch that kicker. That's your only real downside. And yeah, and Carlson kind of cooked you guys over. That was the death of you for sure. Matt LaFleur's quote about the team of or about him about the kicker being like, I just when he goes out there, I just pray. That's not very reassuring. So that's I again when they lost, I didn't want to send that just to rub it in because it was I felt like that was a stinger. That was a tough loss. That was a tough game to do for that to happen. So like I said. I just thought that was very interesting. The late interception from Love, it shouldn't define him yet, because I think again, the Packers might still be in the process. They'll be back. Jordan Love will be in other situations, but that was a tough one. That was a brutal one. But still very much an open book on Jordan Love in my opinion. All the comparisons to Purdy, I'm switching over to the 49ers really quick. All the comparisons of Purdy to Montana, they are wild, but that drive was very important for Purdy in a game that he was struggling in. So without a doubt, not having Debo for the rest of the game, that took a big that was a big element for him. Purdy dealing with the actual elements, it seemed to be he was rattled by the rain. All big difference. CMC went wild. He had 2 touchdowns. He had a big run. That's just they were able to get past the hottest team in the league, that being the Packers. At least that's what we were talking about last week, and next week they might just have to resort to going back to Brandon Ayuk, and then that's what they're gonna have to do. So, otherwise, I'll step back. Those were just my thoughts, my notes, really quick. I'll let you take the floor. What'd you take away from this Packers game, from this just whole season? What were your thoughts?
Hmm. Well, in regards to the season, I mean, I was thinking it to myself. I think after the game, a couple days after, I was thinking about the season, and this might have been the most fun I've had as a Packer fan in a while. I mean, and when I've had Aaron Rodgers MVP seasons, those were awesome to watch. But there's something special about coming into this year, not knowing what to expect, and Jordan Love and these young guys just cooking it up and playing in a divisional game against the 49ers that we should have won. I mean, let me get into that. We didn't even get a chance of overtime because Carlson misses a field goal. So sweet. I thought the game was over after we even got in that position. Aaron Jones had the big 50-yard run. It was and from when we were at like the 10 and set us up perfectly. We just needed to score a touchdown to get two possession game, field goal to at least make it one possession game with the 7 points. Then the offense stalls out after that big run. We missed the field goal and the fucking it was I just knew I was sitting in our buddy Allen's house and I knew it. When they missed the field goal, there was still that time left. They had to drive down the field, but I knew I was like, it's over. We're gonna lose. The 49ers are gonna fucking drive down the field and we're cooked. And that's exactly what happened. And Christian McCaffrey scored the touchdown. And then it just started downpouring after they scored. And I was like, we're really cooked. And then Jordan Love throws that interception and everyone talking shit about him throwing the interception, but I don't I honestly don't blame him. He's a young guy. It's his first time, second time really, and even playing a playoff game. And he was just trying to make a play. I mean, we probably weren't even going to get into position anyway. So, I mean, he was just trying as to do whatever he could. But just a tough game. There's a couple plays, dropped interceptions. Purdy played like complete ass this entire game. And it's just like every fucking year I can't watch the Packers beat the 49ers. And it's like the same with Josh Allen and the Chiefs. It's just the Bills can never beat the Chiefs and we can't beat the 49ers ever. And it's so irritating because it's just a game I personally think they should have won. Just so many missed opportunities and an interception by Jordan Love that got banked up in the air, just unlucky. And it's Aaron Jones had a great game, and he's just one of my favorite players. So I really hope he wins a ring someday. But I'm excited for the future, of course. This team is so young and exciting to watch. And like I was saying, this was one of my favorite seasons by far. And obviously, I don't know if it's my favorite, but definitely one of the favorites. It was a different feeling this year. And even making the playoffs was just awesome. And I guess I don't really get to show my emotion too much as a Packer fan because there's not any Packer fans around me most of the time. So it's really bottled up inside me. And I'll just like get home and be like, come on, baby. It was just a great year all around. A lot of exciting moments. And Jordan Love is the future. I've got his jersey. I'm excited for the next 10 years of Jordan Love and Watson and Dubs. And hopefully they keep Aaron Jones. And yeah, I mean, just excited for the future, man. It was disappointing loss for sure. Um, I know Matt LaFleur will get Shanahan's number one day. And with this team, we'll keep building and we'll be back, baby. I
Yeah.
just a great, it just all in all, though, it was a great game. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time when they had the big run by McCaffrey, touchdown, which should have been a delayed game, by the way. It was a 0 seconds left on the clock, and they got it off. But it's whatever. McCaffrey
I
scores a
know
big
that
touchdown.
they always do. They always say like, "Hey," with referees, like if it's gonna hit zeros, they look, and then if it's not snapped by the time they turn back, that's when they'll throw the
That's
flag.
just me, cherry picking certain plays. But he scores the big run, and then that big punt return by Nixon right after, and then he fumbled, and then the guy in the Packers just like was there to get it. It was just crazy plays left and right. Those big runs by Aaron Jones too, and I mean Jordan Love dotting people up still in the game per usual. He did have a couple missed throws
Yeah, the
behind
ones that
people.
Dobbs were awesome. Is that like again or
He's
yeah?
Dobbs might be the number one receiver now going into next year. I mean,
Could
he's
be.
leading the playoffs in receiving yards. I saw Dobbs was
Yeah.
like 200 something yards, which is very impressive.
Yeah, that big 154 game that helped a ton.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
But
between him, I think obviously with Watson not being able to stay as healthy as you want him to, it'd probably be your deep ball guy at this point. So I mean, I would rely more on Jaden Reed, but that's just me, a little speedy Reedy.
that's a
Uh,
great thing. The Packers, they got these great like Jaden
they
Reed,
got pass
Watson,
catchers.
Dobbs,
They
yeah,
got pass
and the
catchers
tight
left and
ends.
right,
I love Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave.
and
Like
they're
I
gonna
just
be cheap for a little bit. They're all rookies. They're all young. So you guys are just gonna build upon that defense, actually make some money. I mean, free agency that never seems to be the move for the Packers.
we get T Higgins.
Oh, that would be crazy. That'd be
I don't
wild.
know.
He honestly he should be one of the number one like most viable option or most sought after pieces on the offseason, in my mind.
But Packers fired Joe Barry, so hopefully defense
Yeah,
gets
Troy's been going
better.
crazy for that one.
He's cooked. They've already been interviewing people. They just interviewed Brandon Stanley today, Staley, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck is it. So not good. But I did see when he was a defensive coordinator for the Rams, I guess he was actually very good. So when
Yeah.
he's a head coach, I guess he sucks ass. But I mean, whoever the Packers bring in,
Different
I
animal.
mean,
It's a different thing. There are people that can very much be solid coordinators and excel in that way more than just being a head coach. It's a different animal, different thing.
yeah, it might be a good change of pace to not have to focus on the entire team like
I mean, yeah,
that.
that's what some
But
people are saying about Mike Vrabel. That's why I mean he might be going for a head coaching position. I think he could. I think he should be a head coach, but if he goes back to be like a DC, that would work too. Or I don't
there's
know.
only two teams left that need a head coach,
Essentially, yeah. I mean,
the Commanders and
Yeah,
Seahawks.
Commanders all but locked up. Basically, have Ben Johnson in there. Seahawks. I think the Titans. Am I wrong, or did the Titans get somebody?
I think they got someone.
The Panthers. Panthers are
Yeah,
still
they
there.
have they hired the
So yeah, I think it.
Bucks coach,
Okay.
I think. Or
Okay. So it might just be the Seahawks then.
so I thought I saw something the other day that it was just Commanders and Seahawks that needed a head coach still, but I may be mistaken.
Yeah. No, literally, as I got done doing No Substitute for Sports live, we were both sitting there. Me and Big O were like, I think the very next team we were right in who was going to be the very next team to sign a head coach. We were like, yeah, we're both going to go Atlanta. I think it's going to be Bill Belichick. I think that's a smart move. Everyone's gotten second interviews. They were handing them out left and right like Oprah, like you get a second interview and you get a second interview with the Atlanta Falcons. And sure enough, they go with Raheem Morris. So I mean, solid move. That's a good opportunity right there. But I mean, Bill Belichick,
He's
that's
not gonna get hired.
yeah. You don't think so? You think he maybe sits a
He's not.
year?
Yeah, he's not. There's not. I mean, a head coach position. No, at least there's only like we were just talking about. There's
Yeah.
only two positions left, and I don't even think he's interviewed any for any of the
No.
other teams. So
Yeah, I think they were afraid of not only just having him as head coach, but GM version of Bill Belichick coming in and taking all that power too. So, but I digress. We digress over here. Still talking a little, still wrapping up on the Packers and
Packers, a
Packers
great
Niners.
season, good game. They fought, should have won in San Fran, but props to the 49ers. They're one of the best teams in the NFC, if not the best. So, you know, I honestly don't know who I'm rooting for. I like the Lions. They've never made a Super Bowl, so we'll get into that, but
Yeah.
give it to the Packers. I give it to Jordan Love, everyone on the team. I'm excited for next year. Couldn't be more excited, and now probably won't be an offseason filled with drama this year with Aaron Rodgers stuff. So
Yeah.
that'll be nice.
It's New York's problem now. Yeah, overall, just a side note on me with that. I obviously, like I said, was at the missed the second half of the Ravens game for doing Windy City, and I had not told everybody, but I had said I'm like, hey, don't tell me anything about that Packer game because I'm actually recording it. And by the time I got home, didn't see any final scores, didn't hear anything on the radio. I just went ahead and turned it on the recording side, and just kind of blasted through it. Was watching the
Wow.
game, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And I was like excited watching the comeback, and that was actually really cool. Never have done that. Obviously, either watching the game live, or I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I'll hear an update or two. I'll either listen on the radio. Never once have I just been like completely in the dark on a very important ball game like this where it didn't have money necessarily, but again, it's Packers Niners and a chance to get into the NFC Championship. So this is a very important game. So it was a very, like I said, very interesting way to digest sports. And I've heard other people do it before in this day and age. Where like, hey man, do you mind not just don't say anything because I'm recording the game at home. Like, you're recording the game. Like, there's so many. Like, what are we talking about? Like, how are you not going to hear about this game right now? So I'm just like, people were respectful around me. They did their best. So people were watching it, but I was just like, oh shit. People had it going on their phone and stuff like that as we were taking down,
Just
but
yeah, look away.
yeah, I was just like, fuck. It is what it is. But obviously, still was an awesome game. Didn't take away in that sense. And there you go. That was a fun season, and I tip my cap even to the Packers.
Wow.
That was a fun ride. That was a fun game, fun season altogether. Hate that it's going to stay competitive, but it is what it is. Bears are just going to have to step up and do exactly that. So, for good on
Uh,
Saturday's games, can
I
switch
got
on
one
over
more
to
thing to say about the
yeah,
Packers.
sure,
Good
shoot.
teams win, but great teams cover, and that's what the Packers do, and give them plus 10 points. Fuck you, Vegas. So they cover that easily.
Holy shit, you got them at plus 10? I thought it ended at like plus 7.5.
I'm pretty sure they were, oh yeah, that last week they were plus 10, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, the Dallas game, they were another, yeah, the huge spread as well. So
Still,
either
plus
way,
seven and a half. You
doesn't
suck.
matter. Vegas, you lose. There you have it. Sunday slate, Lions Buccaneers again. I was missing this ball game because of the little bit of camera working job, but either way, ready to roll. This was fun. Oh shit, still fun to see, still fun to hear about. I think that was the final score. I might be butchering it, but 31-23 was right around there. Fun game. The Aiden Hutchinson coming down and ripping a pot. The Gardner Johnson interception and then throwing it back in Baker Mayfield's face. Crazy. Uh, but overall, of course, Dan Campbell showing up and showing his big balls and going for it on fourth down. That's why I'm rolling with Sam Laporta to have an anytime touchdown. He loves throwing it in the red zone. Overall, like I said, I only caught this game on highlights and recaps on YouTube and stuff like that, so I didn't see much. What were your takeaways from this game? Other than, I mean, it was that, and then honestly, again, same thing. Tip of the cap to the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. He definitely earned himself a contract.
Oh yeah, I mean the Bucks were another red hot team that Mayfield was playing very well and the defense as well was playing great. But in the Detroit, that crowd just seems like it's so wild in that stadium, and the announcers have been saying it the past 2 weeks. This
Everyone
has
said,
been
"quote It's the loudest thing I've ever heard," or something like that. It's the loudest thing
yeah,
I've ever been a part of.
it's wild in there, and Jared Goff continues to get it done. I mean, he his story of getting traded to Detroit and just coming back and being a great player. He was drafted in the first round and he's been great for them. So with him playing well and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibby and Montgomery and you got that
Gibby.
defense willing to run through a wall for Dan Campbell. So it's a great team and I'm glad they won, even though they're in our division. So we're supposed to be like, fuck you, Lions. But I like their team. I like Dan Campbell. So I'm glad that they got it done here. And I'll be excited for their next matchup coming up.
Yeah. Honestly, from top to bottom, in that Lions squad, I love every single piece of it. I mean, obviously had Amon St. Brown on the fantasy squad. Thank you very much for having a career year. Sam Laporta is going to be a monster to deal with, definitely just in the games to come, and fully healthy apparently. No, not on the injury designation for this game, so that's going to be awesome. After like again, just completely cooking up his knee on that in that Week 18 game. And then Rhythm and Bruise, Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. It's very solid right there. But yeah, and again, I just wanted to tip of the cap to the Buccaneers side of things. That was fun to keep up. They did what they can. And again, I think Baker Mayfield not gonna hit two maybe I think at least eight figures. He'll probably get like a 90 million 3 year deal, 120 for, you know, 4 years. Yeah, I think he's definitely worth Daniel Jones money at this fucking point.
Yeah, probably.
So I mean he can get upwards of 30, 40 mil if he plays his cards right for a shorter term multi-year deal, maybe like a Geno Smith type deal. So whether he stays in the Buccaneers, that'll be interesting. I think they should unless they maybe invest or trying to do something with a quarterback in this draft or didn't they don't they have Kyle Trask? I'm gonna have to pull that sound from when we did the Buccaneers, when we did the whole preview, because I do remember myself. I'm like, Buccaneers. I think with a preview on that one is just how long will it take for Kyle Trask to be a starter and Baker Mayfield. Well, he made me look like an idiot. Sure enough, that's fine. I like when that stuff happens, so I can actually pull it and remix it, make it sound cool. So that'll be fun. That'll be cool. But either way, that was all fun and dandy. How about into the nightcap? Because this was the most interesting one. This is what everyone came to see. This is not controversial by any sort of sense, but this one had, I mean, this one very much lived up to the name of an instant classic. I think very much so. So, Chiefs getting the win on the road 27-24 against the Buffalo Bills. All that shoveling for nothing. Uh, you had, like I mentioned, everything. You had two touchdowns from Travis Kelce. You had Jason Kelce up in the stands introducing fans to Taylor Swift. You had McCole Hardman legitimately leaving everything out on the field. Had two touches, two fumbles, -2 yards in total. Going crazy, including that fumble out of the end zone, which again, I hope that touchback rule stays in place just because the goddamn Chiefs uh experience something bad doesn't mean the whole NFL needs to change because once again, just because these two teams met in the playoffs, the entire NFL has to change the entire landscape of a rule, but that's for another day. That turned into, that resulted because of a fake punt from Damar Hamlin, which again, everyone, I love that meme, which is like Damar Hamlin in the huddle's like, me? You you want you want me? Me, coach? All right, all right. But this was beyond exciting. So much fun. Again, had everything and it came down to a Tyler Bass missed field goal, wide right, just ingrained in Buffalo Bills fans since the 70s, 80s, whenever that four-peat of losing four straight Super Bowls happened. That one was against the Giants. Boy, oh boy, this was crazy. And again, they just can't get Josh Allen and the Bills just cannot get over the hump, cannot beat the older brother in Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs now 9-1-1 against the spread as underdogs. Fucking insane.
Wow.
And just I personally, again, I think Sean McDermott should get fired. Not because he praises and loves Osama bin Laden and the terrorists, but allegedly. Uh, thank you, Andy Reid, for taking that one down. But you had so much talent. This is kind of unacceptable at this point. He's got to go. He's got to go. So that was my thoughts and concerns. What were yours? Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Josh Allen. I wanted the Bills to get this win. I was hoping he finally got his first win against Mahomes in the playoffs, but nope. He gets cooked up. He has some decent plays. There's some great throw to Stephon Diggs that's dropped. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the best throws I've seen. He
And
threw it
again,
like,
Diggs just on a milk carton, 2 for 31, I think, on the day. Holy fuck. And yeah,
yeah, that's
that big bomb would have been the difference in that entire ball game. And sure enough, I mean, he just hasn't had what was it? What did I hear? Hasn't had a 100-yard game since week 6 or 8, and hasn't had a touchdown since week 12.
mm,
Yikes. Only 8 touchdowns on the year, and he gets named to the Pro Bowl. Don't know how. That's just, I mean, hey, have fun playing dodgeball, my guy. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, it's the Bills just yeah, the missed field goal cooks them up. And again, they just don't even get a chance of overtime. So thank you. And yeah, I mean, just it sucks for them. I mean, and I know how it feels. We just miss a field goal on Saturday, so last Saturday. So I understand, man. It's not a good feeling. And
Oh, the death threats were unacceptable. That's absolutely out of pocket and not good. So shout out to the Chiefs fans and the other Bills fans that were like, hey, definitely feel bad for all the hate and negativity. So they donated to I believe Tyler Bass has some sort of cat or some a
some animal like
yeah, he has like
charity,
a
I think.
animal shelter donation, whole promo, a whole organization for it. So people were making humongous donations. They made upwards of $100,000 in just that weekend. So again, while negativity can come left and right, it came in. It actually turned into some positive right there. So shout out to that. And if you got some extra coin, you got some extra time, do that as well. If you got the coinage to do so. So. I just thought that was that again from all the negativity there. I'm glad that there's a bright spot from at least from that point of view. So Tyler Bass still a very accurate kicker. That's a tough one. And from what I understand, similar to Soldier Field in the sense that like the wind doesn't just like breeze by. It's a bowl. It comes in, it swirls around like a fucking tornado. So that could have been the difference. I'm not entirely sure, but uh, some are always going to speculate that it was the broadcast jinx as well. Literally, as he was about to kick, he's like, he's never missed. And then, ball wide right. I can't believe it. I'm just sitting there. Even my dad was like, yeah, that she jinxed him. Like, are you kidding me? That had nothing to do with it. But
Yeah,
again,
it did.
it's all fun. It is
That's
fun
what
to,
I thought.
yeah, no. I mean, as a superstitious guy, I can't just sit there and completely ignore that. But it is ridiculous. It is always fun and ridiculous to have that conversation. But fun game for sure. Just the Swifties live on for another day. But yeah, again, this is just interesting to see. Interesting indeed. And if we're good on that, we can hit the NFC AFC preview for the championship games. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Coolio. Again, so advancing on, moving on. We'll just hit it again in chronological order. Love doing that as we always do. AFC Championship game kicking off on at 2 p.m. from M&T Bank Stadium on your local CBS station. I'll double check, but as last time I checked, Chiefs Ravens were favored by 3.5. The total went back up to 45.5. Now it's back down to 44.5. I was thinking you got to watch out for that weather status. Again, could be some wind, but both these guys have cannons of an arm. You have the former MVP and the upcoming current possibly MVP in this ball game. Absolutely love the matchup. Running, I feel like is going to be huge. Defenses, defense is huge. Again, that is the word of the day. The number 2 and the number 3 defense going up against each other. Some are looking at this game as you win this game, you essentially win the Super Bowl, but I'm not too keen on that. Honestly, I love all four of these teams in the sense that you can root for either one of them. They have a good storyline. You have a likable team, depending on what you're looking at. Even again, as NFC North rooters, we would still have to have something to root for the Lions, and any one of those cases. So I love any one of the combinations of what can come out. For the sake of my wallet, I have that $3 play to win $77 for the Ravens and Niners to be the finalists, but won't be won't be completely upset. But again, that would be nice. It'd be nice to go
I
for.
was thinking about that too when the other day. I was like, Nick made that bet with the Ravens and 49ers. So yeah, there's a good
I can cash
chance.
out with like $40. It'd be like a 1,000%. I can't not go with the math. I think it's like 1,000% increase from like 30 from $3 to 40 something. So that'd be fun, but we don't cash out. Uh, rock and rolling over there again. AFC side of things. The run game can be huge for the Ravens. Can be watch out because Joe Thuney, All Pro guard for the Chiefs, officially ruled out. So that could be a big thing for the Ravens defense to key in on Isaiah Pacheco. We've also seen where, defensives have keyed in on Patrick Mahomes. The pass rush is coming in and haven't been able to get to reliable targets all year. And we've seen again where the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes has struggled, i.e., the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. So it could be something similar like that. As much as I want to say that these could be good games, I'm also prepped that these could also just both be blowouts, but I'm not too
No.
sure. I'm hoping for good games. I want good games. I think they're obviously on the table for them for very much so. So I'm leaning towards the Ravens. I was able to lock in at 3 on the nose because I thought that 3.5, that half point was going to be the world in terms of the gambling things. It's a whole nother possession for the Ravens to
Yeah.
have right there. So I thought that was going to be the thing. I'm also leaning towards the under again for the status of the weather, but that's just me. Uh, Final thing, watch out because Willie, again, the status of Willie Gay might be important. He was going to be the spy on Josh Allen. Willie Gay ends up getting hurt. Josh Allen ends up being the leading rusher for the Bills last week. Lamar Jackson had 100 yards last game. He's also had 100 yards rushing the last time they played the Chiefs. So something very, very interesting to note on the Ravens side of things. Mark Andrews coming back, full participant in
Yeah.
practice all week, and Marlon Humphrey questionable, but he was in fact in limited practice these last couple sessions. So that's their number one cornerback, but they've been getting by just fine. Roquan Smith and oh geez, I'm gonna forget the other middle linebacker's name. Uh, Roquan Smith. Oh Jesus. The other middle linebacker they're gonna key in for sure on Travis Kelsey. But I've been talking for a long second. Like I said, I already got my thoughts in there. I'm leaning towards the Ravens. Who you got and why?
Well, I'm gonna take the Ravens because I've had enough of the Chiefs. I'm with all the other
Mm.
fans that saying Lamar's our last hope. I've seen memes with him in the Captain America gear and all of this stuff with like Anakin or Luke or what is it, Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, and it's like Lamar's on the side with Obi-Wan and like every team in the NFL, and then it's just Mahomes and the Chiefs on Darth Vader's side. People are, I guess, hate the Chiefs, especially with all the Taylor Swift stuff and Jackson
That's definitely
Mahomes
a
and
huge
all of this
factor.
stuff. Yeah, so I'm on the side of Lamar. I mean, I've had enough of the Chiefs. That's why I kind of wanted the Bills to win as well. I just wanted something new. We wanted Josh Allen to get a chance to make it to the Super Bowl or something, but we're gonna get, I mean, props to Mahomes. It just shows how good of a team the Chiefs are. I mean, this is only going to be their second game on the road in the playoffs, which is insane because it just show they're always playing at home. They're always
Yeah,
just so
dude.
damn good that everyone has to go through them, and they're always in the championship game or the Super Bowl. So it's been 6+ years now of just the Chiefs dominating. So I'm gonna take Lamar. The Ravens have been a powerhouse all year long, and I didn't know for sure, but I was predicting they'd make it this far, and it will be a great game in Baltimore. Biggest challenge for Mahomes probably yet with the team that he has, the receivers he's got. So we'll see if Mahomes can get it done, but I'm leaning on the Ravens here in Baltimore.
I also just saw if you were seeing it on Instagram, the Arizona Cardinals in 104 seasons have 17 playoff wins, and in 7 seasons, Patrick Mahomes has matched that. He has 17 playoff wins. So just absolutely nuts.
Of course, I had to watch one of those Cardinal playoff wins against the Packers, and I remember it clearly, and I'll never forget it. It's like Aaron Rodgers has two of his fucking best throws ever, and we get nothing from it because fucking Larry Fitzgerald and fucking, I
That was
don't
Carson
even,
Palmer.
Carson Palmer,
Yep.
yeah, cooked us.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald had like a fucking 60-yard running. They got down at the 5 or whatever, and it was like, for sure, we lose. So fuck you, Cardinals. I'll never. I'll never forget that game.
Sending buckets of hate.
That's another Packer playoff loss. I'll never just fucking devastating
I'm
one.
so sorry. I didn't even mean to bring
How
that up.
many devastating the fucking Seahawks game, the fucking Cardinals game, that last game
Hey,
against the
I guess that's
49.
the benefit of being a Bears fan. You don't get to the playoffs, but you don't have playoff just heartbreaks. I mean, there's a couple, obviously, the double
I
doink
did
was.
see that on Twitter. People were like, "Yeah, well, we're Bears fans. At least we never get that disappointment." So,
We don't, yeah, we can't get that disappointed because we just don't get there. There you go. That's a good way to look at it. A good spin zone right there. Hey, there you go. Keeping a little mental capacity right there. Uh,
God
so there you
damn
have
it.
it. Like I said, I'll get your. So you're going with the Ravens again. They're back. It's back up to 3.5. The total is hovering right around 44.5 still. Any quick thoughts on that? You got any props, or have you been looking at anything stats wise?
Not too really, honest. Since the Packers got eliminated, I've been kind of just taking a break from gambling.
No, fair
I
enough.
cashed out the winnings, and I was kind of watch these games to see just how they go. But
Yeah.
maybe the Super Bowl obviously is a special occasion. We'll put some bets on for
Oh,
there,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I don't know. Like again, I like the Ravens, but the Chiefs prove that they can win at any time. So
oh yeah.
I don't know.
I was looking at a couple props, just a couple player props. Patrick Mahomes, obviously. I haven't completely confirmed it, but I've heard something positive. He hasn't thrown less than 280 yards against the Ravens every time they played against them. His line is currently sitting at 243 and a half. So I think that would be a good interesting one to go with. Also, I was looking at Lamar Jackson, a couple of things interesting with him, just in the sense that an anytime touchdown in some books are still hovering right around like plus 110. You can still get plus money for an anytime touchdown with Lamar Jackson. Like I said, he had two rushing touchdowns last week. He had two rushing touchdowns earlier in the season or the last time they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, still you're still able to get plus money in a couple of sports books. I'm looking at the Lions.com right now if anyone's wondering. They're like, "Oh, how are you able to compare all these sports books all at once?" That's how I'm doing it at the Lions.com. It's one of the easiest ones to do so. Uh, but yeah, I was looking at that. I I'm trying to think. You could maybe no. Yeah. It's kind of a toss up. It's who you really feel like is who you feel like would be more comfortable and who's going to get the ball born between Gus Edwards or Justice Hill. I like really their numbers either way, sitting at like 44 and a half rushing yards for Gus Edwards. Maybe just him for an anytime touchdown, just because they gave him a goal line touches as well. And then finally, like I said, Justice Hill. His total between rushing and receiving is right around 52, and he's very explosive. He's very elusive. So he actually has an 80. One of the weirdest stats. He has like an 80-yard reception on the year that didn't result in a touchdown. Weird. Uh,
What?
yeah, because they went from like the seven, their like the opponent's seven to like their own 10 or something like that. So he just missed
It's a
out.
huge wow.
Yeah, a humongous play and just got caught up at the last second. So poor
Damn
guy.
it.
Um, but yeah, I just like I said, I've been looking at a ton of stuff throughout the week, and that's kind of just more or less been the same, more of what I've just been interested in the entire time. And if you, again, he had two touchdowns. If you think you're gonna get plus money, if you think Lamar Jackson's gonna throw over two touchdowns, but I think that game might be hitting the unders, but still gonna be some possible scoring in that ball game. We're good on that one. You want to hit NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. NFC Championship game following on that Sunday. So like I said, only three in total, three NFL games left, so cherish them. 5:30 on your local Fox station from Levi Stadium. The Niners and the Niners host the Lions. Niners currently, I think it's 7 on the nose. I think the spread is 7. You can still might maybe get it at 60, or excuse me, you might still be able to get it at 6.5. No, but 7. 7 is currently the spread on it right now. Total keeps creeping up. I've seen it at around 51. It's now as high as 52. So keeps going up and up. This Vegas or the public think it's going to be a shootout, and it could be setting up for that. But we're very much intrigued, very much looking at the status of Deebo Samuel, whether or not he's going to be ready to go. I think that can be a huge factor. But honestly, this was a huge spread on the open, and it, after the Niners didn't look too hot, I could kind of see why you can go either which way. You can be like, oh, they'll bounce back and do better, or seven's a lot of points, especially in the playoffs. So I would think that that's something to consider right there. So
Yeah,
again,
none of these teams have really been getting blown out. I mean, except that there's the Ravens Texans kind of, but that didn't really happen until the second half
yeah, no,
even. But I don't know. Yeah, they've been giving a lot of points for these underdogs and like the Lions. Yeah, you were just saying that 7 points is a lot of points for this team. I don't know. I think that can
but
be
a lot of points that's upset the Chiefs at all the way at the beginning of the year, taking care of just about every single team that they've had to. I mean, they're looking all right, looking all right. I mean, had a double digit lead, had a 2-score lead over the Buccaneers, but essentially the entire way through the second half. But it's a different animal. They are playing the Niners. Again, Jared Goff is 0-5 against the Niners with a total QBR of 29.8, I think it was.
oh,
Just it's
mm,
bad. It's hovering right around there. It might not be that exact decimal, but
not
it's
good.
it's not good. Yeah, that is not good for people that are into the
This is a
analytics side of
new
things.
Jared Goff,
It
dude.
is that I'll give you that, and I think Zach Ertz being added to the practice squad and potentially being called up, that could be a factor that can help take some eyeballs away from Sam Laporta. Again, Sam Laporta ready to roll, no injury designation for him, but gonna get rhythm and bruise like I mentioned earlier with Monty and Gibby. You're gonna get the Sun God Amon St. Brown. And honestly, Craig Reynolds or Josh Reynolds, that both on the same
Josh
team. Well,
Reynolds,
Josh
yeah.
Reynolds, the receiver, uh, a solid piece right there. He's been catching some touchdowns, and the deep bomb threat, Jameson Williams. I think honestly, look at him for an anytime touchdown this week. That'll be intriguing, but like I said, for the sake of my bet, I'll be rooting for the Niners. But this could be, I will not be mad either which way. This is going to be a close one. This will be very intriguing. CMC, if someone's going to have to step up if Debo is out, and whether that's Brandon Ayuk going back to week 1 through week 4, Brandon Ayuk, or George Kittle just being a dominant force and stepping up and having like maybe a Travis Kelsey, a David Njoku-esque day. I'm just and it just they just in the sense that they both went off this year. Uh, again, CMC will do CMC things, but can he even upgrade and do even more crazy CMC things? Juwan Jennings, can someone just be in the behind the scenes step up in that sense and take the role? But at the very least, Debo needs to be out there. He needs to be a decoy, similar to what he was in that one week where he was hurt, but they still suited him up and put him out there. But it is what it is. This is gonna be very exciting. I'm still rambling. What are your thoughts on this ball game?
It's going to be a tough challenge for Goff in Detroit. Dan Campbell going into San Fran against this tough team. They get Deebo Samuel back. He's off the injury report. He's there.
Oh,
So they're
officially off
gonna,
the injury report. Okay, good.
yeah, they announced that earlier today, I think. So 49ers will be at full strength
And
on
again,
Sunday.
Gardner Johnson, from what I understand, he was on the live. He was talking smack about Debo.
Not good.
I get it. The Lions, you're feeling a little hot and you're feeling a little cocky, but you don't want to fly too close to the sun because you
No,
haven't
this is
been there.
not the Bucks.
Jared
This is
Goff has
not.
been there. You have not been there, my friend. That's why he's been pretty calm, cool, and collective. And I love that one media thing, the press conference. I don't know if you saw. They go, "Hey, you guys got some good players, pretty good." He's like, "Oh yeah, Monra All Pro, Panay Sewell All Pro." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's good, But the Niners have some really good players too." He goes, "Oh, thanks, I appreciate that, really, thank you." So this is like a really backhanded
Yeah, he
compliment,
said.
but go ahead.
I think he was like, "Yeah, I take back what I said."
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he,
yeah. He had thanked him earlier on that comment. He's like, "Oh yeah, but the Niners have some really good players." Like, I never mind. I take that back. Yeah, either way, love it. That can add some fuel to the fire, of course, but it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a 70-degree day in
Wow,
California. No reason to deal with the weather.
beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. While Jared Goff is a dome team, he's also been on the West Coast side of things before, so it'll be intriguing. It'll definitely be intriguing for without a doubt. I mean, again, this combination of the outcomes, I will not be upset either which way as a football fan. So
Yeah, literally any team can win. I really won't be mad at the end of the day because I know that they'll produce in the Super Bowl and be
yeah,
a good team to be there. Even if the Chiefs make it, I don't want them to be there, but
yeah.
they'll
I mean,
fight, they'll put up a good
you have a
game.
storyline in every single team. Jared Goff and the Lions. Lions haven't been there in forever. Boom, Detroit, everything, bang
The
bang,
Lions
everything.
have never made a Super
Yes,
Bowl. Can you
Lions
but
have never
they're one of
exactly.
the four teams in the NFL have never made a Super Bowl. Can they make a Super Bowl this year? Can they finally crack that code of not making it? And can they
Exactly.
get into there? That's what I want to see. That's what I love to see. Those underdog teams that
You get
don't ever get a chance.
An Eminem monologue at the beginning of the Super Bowl, probably if that happens. Like, come on. Come on, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, again, with the storylines galore, the Niners win. You got Mr. Irrelevant leading the way for this squad and taking care of the Niners and this, that, and the other. All this talent and all these Pro Bowlers. Bing, bang, boom. You got storylines galore. You flip over on the other side, Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Can this young MVP finally get it done? Can he break through the glass ceiling and say get turn all those doubters around this that and the other and be again even with the Chiefs, all the distractions, all the lack of talent on the offensive side, can they still get it done? Can Patrick Mahomes catch up and get to the promised land of meeting Tom Brady and the amount of the ring chasing type thing? That would be the storyline there as well. Storylines galore. The NFL writers are going crazy. They cooked up a solid season this year. So I mean, again, excited. We're going with again. If going with picks, I'm gonna roll with the Niners. You're going with the
I'll
Lions.
pick Detroit, yeah.
All right, so we're both rolling with the Ravens, and then I got the Niners. You got the Lions. So I mean, I like the Lions to cover. Like I just mentioned, 7 is a ton. I mean, but it kind of is hacky to say, I can see them keeping it close, but I could also see it as a blowout. Oh yeah, dumbass. The only two possible outcomes of this game, either it's close or it's not. Yeah, I completely understand it, but that's kind of how I won't be surprised either way. If the Lions keep it close or if they just end up, outright beating the Niners, won't be surprised, and I won't be surprised if the Niners just come and lay the smackdown and win like 34-17 or something like that. That's just football. But that's that. That is that. Ready to roll into the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship, and then get a one week break. Get to hang out with the gal and all that fun stuff. I always make the fun joke when the NFC and AFC Championship game is done. I go, hey babe, we're gonna take football off this week. We're just gonna chill, and then we can do whatever you want. The next week, Super Bowl. That's when we get back into it. It sounds like a deal. Yeah, sure enough. So
And
no
then it's all
dodge.
done for
Yeah,
a couple months after the Super Bowl, so
exactly. No dodge. But now I'm not gonna watch the USFL or whatever the fuck that
I was about
unification
to
league
say.
is. Not happening, my friend. I don't think you could pay me. I missed out on Slam Ball this year. I don't think you can pay me to watch the fucking USFL or what again the unification league. Regardless, exciting is the word for that. Quickly, I mean, we kind of touched upon it a little bit in there, but the how about we hit the coaching carousel? How's that sound, really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the big news: Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I mean, just I gave my thoughts on Thursday on the live show, but I mean, kind of just staying the same in the sense that I don't think it's a quick fix at least this year or next season because the Chargers are going to be in salary cap hell. But Justin Herbert is the big winner from it all. He's definitely going to have huge expectations now, but he's going to get the help he deserves. He's going to get a chance, but I also just don't see what everyone's kind of saying about this team. They went 5-12 this year. Justin Herbert being hurt had a big part of it, but Austin Eckler being hurt, he possibly might not come back the next year. They just barely got an extension done earlier this season, but it was just for 1 year. Keenan Allen is old.
Yeah.
Mike Williams is banged up. He's going to be coming off a torn ACL, and I mean he's had other significant injuries to him already. And I mean from one Johnson to another, the Quentin Johnston just cannot catch a ball. So that's just a huge factor. And again, if Gerald Everett then becomes your number one option, oh God Almighty! So it's gonna be a tough turnaround, a tough fix. And again, I'm not too keen on the defense either, but obviously the most important signing, again, anyone that's like, I didn't want Jim Harbaugh, that they'll dumb. That's a dumb thing because winning anywhere he goes, he just wins. So that's just for anyone to deny that, you're just walking around with blindfolders over your eyes. So solid signing, great signing for the Chargers. Just time will tell. And again, the expectation is going to go up, up, up for Justin Herbert now. So what were your thoughts on that one?
Great signing by the Chargers. I mean, yeah, he has one of the greatest records I saw in the NFL, and
Yeah,
he
he
never.
comes back, I believe, as the most winningest head coach right now, all already just with that San Fran record.
Never got fired or anything. He left on his own merit, and he's going to come in and change this Chargers team for the better. They have so much talent, and they've been underproducing for years. They've had a decent defense, Joey Bosa, and they have good defensive players, Khalil
They do.
Mack and
Khalil Mack,
other
yeah, Joey Bosa.
and Derwin James, and they have decent defensive players, but they just have never gotten the job done. And Justin Herbert hasn't played to his full potential, but
Tough division. Gonna have to see the Chiefs twice. And while the Broncos are on their down part, they always have a tough defense. And Raiders are on the up and up. So this is stepping into a tougher division, if not one of the toughest.
definitely tell Jim Harbaugh wanted to be here because this decision happened quick. I saw that he wanted to coach up Justin Herbert,
Yes.
and the Chargers wanted him, so it was pretty quick. They interviewed him twice, I think, and then they signed him a couple days after that. So it's pretty quick decision, and yeah, they get a very good head coach. He's the Michigan just brought up that assistant coach that was
Yeah.
coaching a couple games this year.
Sharon Moore, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
so
the
he's the
interim
new
head
head.
coach while Jim was taking his time off for the suspension for the two different it was the cheating scandal with the sign stealing. And then I believe he had again I might be butchering this one, but I believe he like gave a student money for food or something small and stupid like that again.
Hmm,
uh I could be wrong, but
that's
uh
awesome.
yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, Sharon Moore stepping up. He's already got a couple wins underneath his belt as the interim head coach. So pretty cool. I mean, good for them. They are hiring within, but seems like a good hire. Seems like he's gonna be able to rally the troops and all that fun jazz. So time
Works
will.
out for everyone.
Yeah.
They get
So
their new coach and
not leaving,
Chargers win.
yeah, not leaving Michigan hanging high and dry until the sanctions come down, because that's what a lot of people are thinking. But still good for Harbaugh. Get away from all that headache. Fuck the NCAA, honestly. Uh, I thought that was definitely the biggest acquisition. Raheem Morris, like we also mentioned, to Atlanta, one of the more interesting ones for sure. Of course, like I mentioned, egg on my face, coming off the live thing. I literally just posted on Spotify, and then 30 minutes later, as I'm driving home, Raheem Morris officially the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Like son of a bitch, and I'm like, well, good for him still. Obviously, I believe his second stint now as that head coach in that spot, but that's fine. Good for him. So any quick ones on that? Like I said, between that, the Panthers job was filled. Commander's job is basically all but filled. Just really just I thought it was the Titans job might not be open, but I can double check. And then the Seahawks is still open as well. So any thoughts on just those couple of ones right there?
Um, yeah, I mean that I'm not too familiar with the Raheem Morris guy, but from what I see, they say he's a great coach. and I'm sure I don't know if he'll be the saving grace of the Falcons, but I don't know anything about these guys as much as these people that hire them do. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that they see something great in him and he'll help them out.
So the Panthers did hire someone. They got Dave Canellis, I
Yeah, I
believe.
was looking it up right now. The Panthers get Dave Canellis. Yeah, he was the Buccaneers play caller.
Okay.
So they
Yeah,
get that.
Gerard Mayo to the Patriots. That was a while ago.
I saw
I
something, the Buccaneers scored 9 points against the Panthers in the last week of the season, and the Panthers were like, "We want that. We want 9 points. Let's sign him."
Yeah. And the Titans did fill their spot as well. Brian Callahan. So there you go. This
Hmm.
one, this one a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, so it's just
Nothing.
the Commanders and the Seahawks that haven't
Yeah,
signed a
and
coach
again,
yet.
yeah, all but signed, sealed, and delivered for the Commanders. Kind of just waiting for Ben Johnson to either finish the season as a Super Bowl champion or get eliminated come Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. And then again, Seahawks still figuring it out, just not having Pete Carroll, but he's still a part of the organization. So still interesting to see there. I'm still, like I said, I'm still looking to see where Mike Vrabel lands, if that's even a possibility anymore of him doing that or filling up a DC spot. One of the interesting trends in what I heard on the radio is like if Luke Getsy would have stayed on the Bears for another season, he would have been the longest tenured offensive court, would have just been the longest tenured coordinator in the NFL. That's the new trend. Offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators just become new head coaches right
Wow,
within like a two-year span, 3 year span. That's the new
not
thing.
him.
No, not Luke Getsy.
The Bears are interviewing Joe Barry, so have fun with him.
Yeah, I know. That's unfortunate. I'm not. Yeah, but you get Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
Haha. Yeah, so we both suck.
I
Yeah.
guess. God damn it.
That's okay. We'll that's the end of the NFL side of things. We can blow through some NBA All-Stars talk. Got a little bit of White Sox, and then I mean tons of wrestling to get to still. So if you're good on that, we can go ahead and do so. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Alrighty, NBA All-Stars were announced yesterday. I honestly didn't even know until
I
didn't
haven't
even.
seen any of them, so this will be
Oh,
alive.
you haven't seen any of the starters?
No,
Oh, cool.
no.
Oh, nice. So let me go ahead
I'll
and
look it up.
I'll go ahead and reveal that to you then, I guess. So the captains looks like it's gonna West and East captains are going back to that. They're not picking teams like that. It's just gonna be East versus West once more. East side of things: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and
Wow.
Damian Lillard are the East Conference starters. On the West side, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, who just scored 73 points tonight. We'll get to that in just a second. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder capping off the Western Conference starters. You just looked at this right now, Mikey. Again, that's really exciting just for the sake of this show that you get your reaction raw right now. Are there any snubs, or do you think this is a justified all-star starting lineup?
Um, I, I mean, yeah, so I'll have to say it sounds good. I don't keep up too much with the NBA to know maybe other players that deserve to be put over guys like maybe Tyrese Halliburton or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I know that they've been having great years. I
They
know the
have been.
OKC has been great, and Tyrese Halliburton has been amazing on the Pacers. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Tyrese Halliburton leading the league in assists. He's on pace to, I mean, if he keeps up this 13 assists a game, I believe he might break the record for the most assists per game or per game per year or whatever on the stat. And then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander actually leads the league in 30-point games this season. So people that are saying,
wow.
again, snub, he's just a young kid. He's having a ball, and that's kind of the reason why Oklahoma City is the number 2 seed in the Western Conference right now.
And
So
I like it because more of
yeah,
these players should be showcased. It's
yeah.
always the same people every year for the most part, and then they deserve it. But
I'm kind of on the side of Damian Lillard might not be too deserving of the starting role. Again, you could argue either which way. A lot of fan, but it was, of course, everyone knows the breakdown. It's 50% of the fan vote, 25% players, and 25% staff and coaches. For how the all stars are all star starters are voted for, and then all the reserves are voted on by, I believe, the players and the coaches. So that'll be interesting to see how that is broken down. A lot of people were throwing out the name Jalen Brunson on the side of the Eastern Conference. I could see why. He's averaging right around 27 points a game for the New York Knicks, keeping them, relevant is the word. Creeping up actually on the 76ers on that number 3 seed right now as we're speaking. Uh, Also on the Eastern side of things, Donovan Mitchell was also thrown out there for I mean, again, keeping up with the Cavs as well. A couple other names, at least on the West side. Steph Curry for the name value, but of course, Golden State not having the best of
Yeah.
years. Carl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. I believe honestly, Anthony Edwards before, but Carl Anthony Towns just had a 62-point game as well, but lost in the process. And then finally, I mean, can't go wrong here. Kawhi Leonard. I mean, could also be in the run, but ultimately I'm kind of just on the side. Like I'm looking at this. I love both lineups. If it was just one of those games, if I was just gonna see these five versus these five, I would be very excited. So
Yeah. And I'm
as a
sure all
both,
those
yeah.
players you named are going to be reserves
Oh yeah.
players.
Oh
So,
yes, 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 yes. Jalen Brunson will for sure be on the east side. Donovan Mitchell. I can only hope maybe Kobe White. I don't think he'll get the recognition that he
mm,
deserves, but maybe the 3-point contest. Maybe DeMar DeRozan gets the nod on the Eastern Conference side, but again, you can only hope. Uh, Western Conference, kind of like I said, those guys, Cat, Anthony Edwards, Curry's going to get the nod. I would think Kawhi Leonard. Uh, I'm sure again. The reserve side is always fun as well. When it really gets snubby. That's when it really is like, oh,
yeah.
like you couldn't even make the like we couldn't even get a reserve out of this. Like that's ridiculous. Like he's having a phenomenal season. Like
Because
that's
right
when
now people are like, okay, they didn't make the starters, but they'll still get picked for this, or but
exactly
yeah, if they don't get
exactly.
picked for that, then it's like, what the fuck? Are they not an all-star?
Yeah. And someone was saying, like, oh, yeah, Jalen Brunson could have got in, but New Yorkers are just so cool they can't hop on the internet and go vote because it just, hey, we're walking here. We're New Yorkers. We got no time for
There's
that
no time
bullshit.
to vote.
Yeah. I mean, that's just been interesting. Besides that, obviously, like we just said, Luka Doncic went off today, 73 against the
Go.
Atlanta against the Atlanta Falcons, against the Atlanta Hawks. 73 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists in a win. I mean, just the other day when I was writing up the notes, fucking 70 points from Joel Embiid, 62 from Karl Anthony Towns, a ridiculous triple double from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had like 38, 12, and 15. And then, of course, coming back on the Chicago Bulls, 43 from Kevin Durant and a game winner, a double clutch game winner. So that was the NBA on Monday night, Tuesday night? Yeah, Monday night.
I don't know what they're
Bonkers.
drinking right now, but
It's that Michael Jordan secret stuff from Space Jam. That's what it's
also
called.
the Carl Anthony Towns, he cooked them up, but they end up losing.
Yes.
And then the his own head coach comes on and roasts him. Like I like, come on,
Yeah,
dude. I
dude.
just saw that and I was like, what else could you possibly do, man? The head coach is like, the way we play, that's why we lose. We're forcing him the ball, but like,
Hey, he's got
come
to watch out because it might end up being like Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks kicking out Griffin. How crazy is that? You're 30 and 13 in your first year and you get fucking bounced. You're winning on a 70% clip. And because Giannis Antetokounmpo don't like you, you're out of here, dude. Bringing in Doc Rivers. I mean, do you have any quick thoughts on that? He's going to get $40 million, and the Bucks are going to pay 3 head coaches now on their payroll. Uh, Thoughts on that
that's
one?
the other day, Giannis was just in a press conference like, he's a good guy. And I could like, is he? Like, why would you get him fired
He
then?
was on. Giannis had he went on like a 7 minute, 8 minute rant the other day in the press conference, just like, defense is no good, like everything was bad, and you're like, you can't do that accent. I'm Greek. I can do his accent. I can. It's not offensive, but. There's just disruption everywhere. Obviously, the locker room got lost, and I, good guy, bad guy. I don't know necessarily about Doc Rivers, that whole thing, but he can do enough just to be, the bus driver and let the superstars run the ship. It's always is tough, letting the prisoners run the asylum type deal, but I think I trust in Giannis, Damian Lillard, and Chris Middleton when he's healthy to get it out, get it done, and get it out there as well as Brook Lopez to you know, maybe play NBA championship caliber basketball like they've once done before. So, the track record as of late for Doc Rivers isn't the best, but since 2008, he hasn't finished as a less than a 3 seed in the Eastern Conference or Western Conference. So,
Wow.
he gets teams up there. He gets wins. Can he get it done in the playoffs? Will he make one of those timeouts? Will he make one of those unnecessary substitutions, stuff like that? No substitutions here. Uh, that'll be the questions. That'll be what's going on forward. But I mean, 31-13 are Giannis and the Bucks right now. I think they're looking okay. That was just
Yeah.
crazy. Again, that was crazy to see when I saw that push notification that the Bucks head coach was fired. I'm like, what? Like red flags galore. Like he must have done something bad. It's just like, oh no, the superstar just didn't like him, so he's gone. I mean, he'll still collect a little bit of money, not doing it, but kind of sucks. Like he doesn't deserve that. So yeah.
No.
There you have it. If we're good on NBA, we can run through some quick White Sox talk. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we got tons of wrestling. Uh, quickly before we hit White Sox talk, there was a Wander Franco update. We got enough, controversy going on here. So there was the Wander Franco update. It's not good. It's looking pretty gruesome. So again, take the time, take the effort on yourself, and go ahead and look into that. Wander Franco, go fuck yourself. Josh Hader to the Astros. If we had the time, I was gonna throw up, the idea of just like lack of Cubs movement. Haven't really seen anything on the White Sox thing. I did see how stacked is the All-Star or is the all free agent team in the lineups, and still a lot of talent, still a lot of things to go around. But wanted to talk some quick White Sox. There was also at the big earlier a little while ago. There was the rumor that he might be leaving Guaranteed Rate Field for some spot right around the South Loop. It would be tough. It'd be tough, in the sense that like, oh, can't get rid of the can't get rid of the nostalgia. We want a title or had the winning games there and that. Fuck that. I mean, if you can just get in a nice spot, build a nice stadium, I'm more for that and make the team more profitable. Make it nice looking. And honestly, that's a pretty solid spot right there. And everyone's bitching and moaning like, oh, you give the bad team such a solid skyline. Fuck you. Quit bitching. You'll be at the games getting drunk before you know it. So shut up. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on the White Sox possibly leaving Guaranteed Rate Field?
Yeah, I mean, it's with what's been going on lately. I mean, if they're gonna have 100 lost seasons, at least if I could see Luis Robert hit home runs into the Chicago River, then I'm happy.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, that'd be great.
A
Just
whole new futuristic stadium. It'd be awesome. The guaranteed raise in a it's just not in the best like place for like place
yeah.
like stuff to do and like
Yeah, the
it's
stadium
just not
itself
in
is
the
nice. Like it's a decent little ballpark. You make your round. You go all around. You got fun stuff to do. There's enough activity within the ballpark to have fun. It's like you just said, outside there's nothing. It's parking lots,
like
highways.
residential area.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
That's all you got going on. There's not a bar, not a bar scene. It's not Wrigleyville, not by a long shot. So go over here, make some renovations, get some restaurants, and again, you're way closer to probably a prime spot of already a nice little restaurant hub or something over there. So That'd be cool. Love it. I love the idea of it. So, and won't have to make that not that nine that I-90 94 little part where everyone, at least when we're trying to get to the games, hop on I-90 and everyone's just trying to fucking cut in front of everybody. It's just like, asshole, the line wouldn't be out the fucking window if you would just like cut in front, like it just do your, yeah, exactly, the last second, just I'm going. Like, no, I hope you get. I want to. If I had enough money, I would hit you with my car, but I don't.
Yeah.
So there's that. Well, continuing with the White Sox news, just they're bringing back Sox Fest, and it was
Wow.
also the report that a new play-by-play guy, don't even have his name ready, haven't looked into it, not going to make any sort of judgment just yet, just because, like I said, haven't done so. But unfortunate because I wanted to apply my name in for the job, but already already filled it in, so missed out. You missed out on my resume by that much, White Sox guys. But
Damn it.
damn it, God damn it.
You would have been better than this guy.
Me and Steve Stone, I probably would have got kicked off. I would have been yelling at Steve Stone probably the first game. But I don't hate Steve Stone. I just probably I would have tried to make that like a gimmick at the very beginning, and he would probably just not liked it. So,
Just did
um,
not roll with that at
he's
all.
like, we don't do that here. Uh, I would also probably be like, hey, I use you all the time for Immaculate Grid. You're like a 0.1% guy. It's awesome. But I
Wow.
digress. Play-by-play, new play-by-play, and Sox Fest possibly coming back. And from rumor mill also might be getting the White Sox garage sale in March, so that ought to be cool too. So a little bit of an up and up for the White Sox guys, while not improving on the field, improving maybe a little bit on the fan base side of things. From all that, anything to gather from there.
Yeah, they didn't do the Sox Fest last year, right?
No, they
So
have not.
so
It's been a
yeah,
little bit.
they're bringing that back, and they always, I mean, when it comes to that stuff with the fan experience, I feel like they always do a good job. They release the giveaways that they're doing this year, and those all look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they do that
They never
stuff
miss on
well.
the giveaways. Free shit is always good with the White Sox fans. It makes up for a lot of, like I said, makes up for a lot of the losing.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, those always look good. Those are always nice. And oh, like I said, pulling for a better season. But
Yeah.
the
That's all we can
cosmetics
hope.
of it, those could be those the optics so far are looking better. Hopefully in that new stadium you can make sure there's not a gun in the outfield. But we'll
Yeah.
see we'll see when the next season when that happens. Uh Wrestling side, if we're all good on the MLB, can cap off with some wrestling. How's that sound? We can get on
Yeah.
out of here after that. Man, oh man. Talked about it on Bad Karma this morning, and it's still sitting in and officially what 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, right before we got started on here, officially resigned from TKO and WWE, his whole board of directors spot, whatever it is. Vince McMahon officially done with the company because of his allegations coming out that he was I mean I don't want to get it wrong, but the allegations that he was sexually abusive, sex trafficking, and there was one more, all in the charges. But again, this is all coming from Jalen Grant, a former employee of WWE, who again signed an NDA, but coming to find out that Vince McMahon wasn't paying NDA money anymore. So that's what spouted this lawsuit. Tons of names being thrown out there. I mean, not tons of names, but unknown people, but people making assumptions, and it's kind of it makes a ton of sense. So details have come out as well. Disgusting. But I mean, again, all over the place. I'll give you it. Okay, I'll throw out there some quick ones. Really, like I said, John Laurinaitis was named in there as being basically a part of like a three-way session, or
Oh,
basically thrown off to him as a part of. I believe he was referred to as you're going to be his breakfast. John Laurinaitis' breakfast. He just in the morning she was going to have to go in there and pleasure and have sex with John Laurinaitis, which You have to listen to the guy that sounds like I'm sorry. I'm not gonna try and make jokes about on this. This is really, like I said, really awful. That's just me and my personality. I try and make light of it in the situation, but this is a very serious thing. I don't want to make jokes about it. But again, it is kind of hard when another detail that was given out was that they Vince McMahon was naming sex toys after wrestlers and then using it on her.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just so fucked.
So
Like
the idea of, getting, oh my God, crush,
those
or
details, I couldn't even fucking. I was
yeah,
reading through though the Russell Ops on Twitter, I think is the account I saw. They posted a thread of all of the details that guy Grant, the Jalen Grant guy posted, and it was just like I couldn't believe it because it just does not seem like something Vince would say, but it's just how can you not
it was
believe
the
it too
text
with all the
messages.
previous things he's done? It's just like I mean, it's horrible. It's just such horrible things that were in
Def
there. It's horrible,
defecated on
dude.
her chest and it was in her hair, and then she still had to finish off John Laurinaitis was again one of the alleged details in there. Again, you gotta go with the word allegedly until all is said and done. But when all the NDAs were signed, and like I said, already mentioned that Vince McMahon has resigned from TKO, has resigned from his board of directors spot in the WWE and all that jazz, you're gonna have to probably lean towards that. This is only one person of his. It was slowly building up. It was a $3 million NDA that slowly turned into six, and then 9, 12, 15, and then now it's upwards of 17, $19 million in hush money. And now this is just one of the people that's gone through, and now the crack is gone through. It's gonna claim his innocence till the end of time, but you can't really roll with that. Uh, and then I wanted to throw it in there, and I thought there was going to be a detail in the Royal Rumble, but most likely not going to be seeing him unnamed in the report. But you can only assume that a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion and WWE World Heavyweight Champion, it ain't Cain Velasquez because he wasn't a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You can only assume it's Brock Lesnar. Uh, was named in there, also a part of basically a part of a contract. Some like he was gonna have to, she was gonna have
A
to
reason
go.
to return.
Yeah, yeah, dude, huge, huge, crazy part of that. Apparently he's into peeing, and I just thought this was one of the more interesting things. And of course, the internet just always wins. The internet always fucking wins. Ringside Collectibles is a toy distribution company, one of my favorites to be in fact, and they were posting toys today. Oh, you can't even you actually I can't go in the comments anymore. They turned them off. But they were posting new toys, new Elite collectibles, new Elite series that are coming out, Elite 108 for any of those that are into those that are collecting like collector like myself. Posted a new Brock Lesnar. And sure enough, within 2 minutes, comments were going crazy, like the ones I was able to screenshot and send to you earlier, like golden shower accessory not included, secretary not included. Does this come with Vince McMahon text messages? The internet always fucking wins. This is a toy distribution company catching some side eye just because of a guy that just so happened to potentially be in this lawsuit. Disgusting, disgusting all the way through. And I think from Mike Sempervini from Wrestling Observer said it best in the sense that don't turn this into the everyone's gonna want to. Don't turn this into tribalism. This is not an AEW versus WWE thing. This is not the time for fans to stand up on their high horse and be, oh, well, you're chairman, this, that, and the other. No, 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 no. This is a man that committed a foul, disgusting act, men probably, that committed a foul, disgusting act against this woman, and it should be not it shouldn't be looked on any more than just that. This is not the time for, again, for the AEW fan to stick their nose up and be like, well, what do we have here? No, this isn't the time for that. So take that all out. Focus on the fact that a woman was sexually assaulted, has to deal with this trauma right now, and it's just overall just hate even having to talk about this when there's a ton of positives that just came up with the WWE. Had the Netflix deal, the $5 billion Netflix deal to for Raw to come to Netflix, Rock to TKO, and which you can also be like, well, maybe that was pretty convenient that they named The Rock right around this time that this whole thing slips out. And you can look that way. I also look on the side of like, hey, TKO, your board of directors, you guys didn't do any due diligence. You guys didn't examine anything into this at all. So, the blame game can be passed all around. Even the whatever spokesperson came out and had a quote. I don't want to get it exactly wrong, but I was basically, I'm going to paraphrase essentially along the lines that, this predates Vince McMahon's time with TKO and all that jazz. So they're very much taking into consideration this horrific events and all that. So while they're acknowledging it, still kind of pushing the blame off like, hey, not our fault. Vince McMahon's a weirdo. That's kind of how I came from it. So, uh, disgusting. Disgusting. I got nothing really else on it. Like I said, I kind of gave my thoughts earlier on bad karma wrestling. So go ahead, check that out as well. But any other lingering thoughts are on this one, Mike?
Not really. I mean, just shameful stuff. I mean, dreadful stuff and stuff you never want to see. It's just horrible, Vince. I mean, again, it's just you don't never want to see this kind of stuff. But he immediately quit today, so he
Yeah,
resigned
yeah.
already, and yeah,
Uh,
just not good.
Yeah, and again, all alleged, and you don't want to like sit here and like speculate like, oh, how many more? But it's definitely not zero. It's there has to be more cases. There has to be more things like this. Again, that I don't want to sit here and keep harping on this or even want to keep imagining all the other atrocities that could have happened. But I'm sitting here, again, more hush money is even not even accounted for still, I think. And like I said, it's definitely not zero, but don't even want to even think or even more about what Vince McMahon shitting on somebody else's chest right now. So I can only hope. I'm similar. Even WWE talent was like, I hope this even comes down to like, maybe even some jail time. I don't know how that's gonna happen. The sex trafficking part definitely can be. You make a case out of that for sure, obviously, but man, just yeah, disgusting. We'll take a step back from it. We can try and focus more on the positive sides of things. Uh, and like I said, we got Rumble right around the corner. I did just one last comment. This was hopefully not the week for weirdos because there was also Chris Van Vliet's interview with Velveteen Dream. I haven't got around to it, but apparently he's been very open and honest with his whole situation as well. Again, he stepped away because he was reportedly talking to an underage girl as well, or an underage girl. This girl is the girl that was with WWE was of age, but that was that again, whole can of worms, different can of worms, apples and oranges. Again, that I just thought that was very interesting. I'm gonna have to take the time and listen to that. Just the week of the weirdos, week of that. So focus more on the brighter sides of things, on the lighter notes. I had mentioned it like it said, $5 billion deal for Netflix to buy Raw, and for that to air come January 2025. That will end the longest episodic television show in TV history. But SmackDown will transition to USA, so that'll still be going on. Still gonna have NXT in the same realm as well. You could spin zone and even say that AEW could even benefit from this as well. But I'm seeing positives and negatives from this deal. I mean, crazy $5 billion. I don't even think I don't even think the NHL would probably get a deal like that for their TV rights. But that's different. Getting Raw and the PLEs, I would think that you're probably going to get the Raw current season library, but also paying multiple paywalls. You have to pay the Netflix paywall, which I just saw took away its lowest Lowest amount of like the lowest tier again. So I think it's upwards of like $12-15 a month now. And then you're also paying for Peacock if you want the network. So you're paying two separate paywalls. Might even be paying for cable if you still want to get USA, you still want to watch AEW and all that fun jazz. So it's piling up now. It's piling up now for both wrestling fans or just sports fans in general. If you want to, if you again, if you're already missing out paying Peacock for that the playoff games and all that shit, and then Thursday night football, interesting. And I don't know if you're gonna get commercials. You might get lack of. You might get some picture-in-picture wrestling now. It's gonna get, or if you don't get picture-in-picture the graphic, you're gonna get the style of wrestling where they're just taking breaks still and getting headlocks and you know, taking long-winded breaks like that. So, like I said, I can see positive and negatives from both. What are your thoughts on the Netflix deal?
Very interesting. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever see Raw on a streaming platform of that sorts, let alone Netflix. I mean, just so out of
Yeah,
nowhere,
yeah, Netflix
honestly.
was the interesting one for sure.
But yeah, I mean, no ads for the premium subscribers I saw. So yeah, because
Yeah.
will be commercial free Raw constantly. And yeah, I mean, the only thing it does suck, like you say, having the multiple streaming platforms and stuff. But I mean, if you're just, I don't know, if you're just a wrestling fan or something, or just want to watch stuff on streaming platforms, it is way cheaper to just have Netflix than like paying for Xfinity or something or whatever every month. So, I mean, maybe it is a cheaper option for fans, but we'll see how it ends up turning out in the long run. But I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, I have Netflix, so I think it's cool, and I'll check out Raw every now and then on Netflix in the coming. I mean, I check it out every now and then on USA still, but you know,
Are you gonna watch CM Punk? So it'll be Netflix and Phil.
that's I haven't heard that one
That
yet.
was he posted that on his story. I thought that was a pretty funny one. Gotta give the devil his due.
I
Uh,
like that.
yeah. So Netflix and Phil, Netflix and chill with a little bit of raw
Yeah,
action.
so many memes when that
Yeah.
came out, just the Netflix and chill, and like, yeah, are you still watching? And people getting slammed through tables, and
Yeah.
oh my God.
I was trying to, yeah, I think I did post one. I was looking for, I settled with the Shane McMahon one, but I wanted the one where Bubble Ray Dudley powerbomb Mae Young off the Titantron. I wanted that one, but I couldn't find it through the gifts. Um, but that's all cool. You know, Rock to TKO board of directors. I think that's all fun and games as well. WWE cover for 2K4
Mm,
2K24. Cody Rhodes on one, and I believe it's Bianca Belair and
Re,
Rhea Ripley on the other.
yeah.
So new features, new things in that. Are you gonna be purchasing that one?
Yeah, this game seems awesome. Are you kidding me?
Oh
They've
yeah.
added so many new things again. Well, I guess bringing stuff back and like old matches, a special referee match. I'm so glad they finally brought that back. That's something I always wanted them to bring back. I don't know why they even took it out. It's such an easy
Just
thing
small
to
things,
have.
yeah. Makes no
And yeah,
sense.
it's just I love being a ref and like my friends are when like you guys are over or something and I could be the ref and you
Yeah,
guys
he's
are
like
fight
fuck
like
around and can screw us
yeah, just
over.
cooking up Allen or something. Like yeah, I would love to be a special guest referee.
One, two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
come
wouldn't.
on, hit
Allen
three.
never getting a three. I mean,
Oh shit. I mean, yeah,
and
this
but
this is the road to WrestleMania that's got like a couple odd matches
yeah.
as well. GM mode's getting a couple. I think they're adding a couple brands. I think it can be ECW now. You guys, I saw that in the background, so you can probably be like ECW or WCW now.
Hmm.
I think you already were being able to be WCW, but adding
Yeah,
more. Always love
the
that.
showcase this year, the 40 years of WrestleMania, that's gonna be awesome. I
Yeah,
mean,
someone goes, they could have had more. I'm like, well, someone else goes, well, they kind of had to skip the Benoit part. I'm like, yeah.
yeah, there's some stuff they just had to skip past,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that'll be really fun. And again, they added like ambulance match and casket match and all these like fun matches back. And
Yeah. And I'm
this,
not entirely sure. Maybe not 100% confirmed, but there is the roster list that was given out and the DLCs that will be in there as well eventually. So the pretty solid roster list, pretty solid names all
yeah,
around.
they've got great roster right now.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
the,
Gameplay's pretty great as well. So that's always fine. Like I said, kind of bouncing around. We'll get to more WWE just a second, but Dark Side of the Ring episodes were announced and revealed. So I think that ought to be fun. 10 episodes. We'll hit those really quick. I got them all right in front of me. We got Chris Adams, Sensational Sherry, Terry Gordy, Black Saturday, which is Vince McMahon purchasing the Georgia Championship Wrestling for the TBS time slot, which eventually led to the death and the destruction of the territories. Chris Colt, the Sandman, ECW original, Earthquake, Harley Race, Buff Bagwell, and finally Brutus the Barber Beefcake. From those 10, honestly, I'll be honest. There's a couple of them. Georgia Championship, the Black Saturday one that explains it right there. The Sandman probably might be similar to the New Jack one where he kind of just gives a little mini biography because he's still alive, he's still kicking. But you know these other ones, I'm not really too aware of what really the controversy or what really else is going to be going on. So I'm going to be going I'm going to be in the dark on a lot of these Dark Side of the Ring episodes coming up this season. So I'm excited. I'm excited in that sense. So, usually I go in the whole season. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be like this. And oh, they should have added this. I'm not really going to be all too keen on some stuff. Like I said, I know the names. Terry Gordy back in the day, Sensational Sherry being one of the better women managers in wrestling history, but I'm not really too sure. I was kind of informed that it's kind of similar to Sunny in the Chris Candido situation where she had the high and the very low just in with everything. So I'm gonna be very interested. So was there any names, anything from that list that bounced off to you that you're gonna be the most interested for?
the Sandman probably because he's one of just such a crazy dude. So I'll be interested to see that episode for sure. And Harley Race because I mean he's one of a legend. I mean just from seeing in the Iron Claw movie too. Just
That
one of
was
the
an
best.
excellent portrayal of Harley Race, by the way. That's how you do it. He actually sounded like how Harley Race would talk, and that was pretty solid. And he had like the old dad bod like Harley Race, so
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, I mean, that's good. Like, I don't know too much about these old-timey wrestlers, so it will be interesting that I didn't know that if like he had like a dark side to him. So
yeah. I'm sure with Buff Bagwell, I kind of saw the preview. They were in the thing. They're like, Buff Bagwell, it was a character that kind of took its own persona. So I'm sure he was kind of just an asshole backstage. And again, something I think it was some sort of health concern with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He's still kicking and he's still rocking around with us as well. But uh, interesting to see that all together. So Dark Side of the Ring season 5 coming up soon. Coming up soon, I believe April or May.
yeah, it
Not
says
sure.
I May 5th, March 5th.
Okay, there we go. March 5th. So that's can't wait. Cannot wait for some Dark Side. And I always say, whether you're wrestling fans like us, you're in the you're in there and in the deep side of things, you love it, or if you're just a passerby, if you just like a good story, these Dark Side of the Rings put together a pretty solid, interesting story. So I think that's the way to go. Alrighty, that brings us to a little bit of Raw recap, a little bit of Rumble preview. Just want to give a quick thoughts, questions, concerns on the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk promo. I've been catching heat from a couple people.
Uh,
I was underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed as can be. I wanted that 15 minutes back. And there was some fun spots, sure, some the stare down, but and the shoulder check and that, of course, a shot at Jungle Boy, of course, whatever, because the 5 AEW fans that were probably in attendance at the audience were probably like, oh, that's that. And all the WWE fans are like, what's going on? Why are they doing that? I don't believe that fucking Dusty Rhodes called CM Punk for a second and said, "Hey, take care of my boy." Fuck you. No way that happened. And again, people were like, "What? I'm like, in this carny business with this carny guy who just will say anything for money, you're just gonna start end up believing him all. Go fuck yourself. Blow it out your ass. Fun story, a nice little, a good way to try and make people care for it. Cool, that's fine. But I'm sorry, I see right through that in that sense. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be the WrestleMania pivot now that Rollins is hurt and most likely not going to have Lesnar. I think that's very much the case. But again, I would have rather saw Brandy Rhodes and AJ Lee in the ring as opposed to Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in this little spat right here. And trust me, I hate Brandy Rhodes on the fucking mic.
Yeah, that's
I
come on.
I always
That's
love that thing. Where's your sexy ass, Cody? Where's your sexy ass wife? I love that fucking that one video. But yeah, again, I digress. That's kind of what I was taken away from that. Was not a fan of it, and I don't really care. Though they can have an interesting match, but don't sit there and tell me that Dusty Rhodes told you to take care of Cody, because I'm not gonna fucking believe that for a second. So, um, or what did you have anything on that promo?
yeah, I mean, I only saw bits and pieces from it. I didn't see the whole 15-minute promo. I didn't watch it, but I mean,
Yeah, so they're going back and forth, and it's like, well, I'm more Cody Rhodes than you are, because I'm coming back and I'm gonna finish the story. And then Rhodes is like, well, I'm more CM Punk than you are, because everything you said in the pipe bomb, I did. And I'm just sitting there like, well, you guys are both CM Punk because you both gave up on AEW, and I don't know, at least one of you is well liked and respected, and the other, I don't know, somewhat, some way.
yeah.
Yeah, I really don't care which one of you is more Cody Rhodes or CM Punk than the other. At this point, I'm not really too interested on that one. But again, at least the match will make up for it. The in ring promo
Hopefully.
was not. It was not what I was looking for, and we'll see what transpires when they go down when that happens in the Royal Rumble. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was that part from Raw. The other thing from Raw, if you're good on that, was Rollins updating his injury and then being interrupted by Gunther, which the people online that are saying, why Gunther? Does he really deserve to win the title? Yes. He's deserved to win the title far beyond this year. This is insane that he doesn't have it. He's been given this consolation of the world's longest intercontinental title reign, which props to him for that. That's an awesome thing to do. Obviously, that's just Honky Tonk Man's record, but that's Gunther now, and rightfully so. He's the man. That's why I don't like that. That's why I hated and despise the idea of Okada going to WWE, because WWE fans won't fucking appreciate anything. They finally turned sour on Gunther after he's finally been given an opportunity to step into the spotlight. Absolutely hate it. So, just in commenting on Rollins, he's trying to rehab, and make it out and really get out with the just finishing this whole storyline. Man, if it's as bad as it says, just take the time off now. Like I said, talking with Dykstra on Bad Karma, I liked his idea of hey, you got Damian Priest, hasn't done jack all. He has the briefcase. Get him in there, have Rollins cut another promo, and just have Priest beat the fuck out of him, cash in, boom. Even if it's just a transitional championship, you make him worth something. I think that would be the move, and then have Rollins go rehab, get all the surgeries he needs, and get healthy, because I'd rather see him for the long term and not for this short little run where just so you can have your WrestleMania moment, which again is far and few in between now. Those aren't as special as everyone says they are. Which, yeah, again, if you're like, oh, what was the last big WrestleMania moment, and everyone goes probably when Michaels super kicked Ric Flair. That's, yeah, again, that's a huge thing. But I'm of course overlooking Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, but I again, I'm skipping past it. Where even was I? What was I even saying? Yeah, Rollins, get healthy,
Yeah.
man. You got a kid, dude. So get healthy. I don't think that's the move. Any comments on Rollins continuing being hurt?
Yeah, it's not unfortunate, very unfortunate for him. Has these constant injuries. I mean, now getting injured again with the MCL, and he's had the ACL issues and all this stuff. So, I
His
mean, just
back
not,
too.
yeah, it's not good, not reassuring. And yeah, if the no, I don't know. It's you don't want to rush it, but I can see why he has that mindset, just being the champion and
Yeah,
WrestleMania right around the corner. It's a shitty time to get hurt, but
yeah,
yeah, you got to think about your future and you don't want to make it worse. But I can't tell him what to do, and he's gonna do what he does. So
yeah.
props to whatever, props to whatever he ends up doing there. If does have the match, but yeah, I mean,
Just make
just
it look
take
good. Make him
yeah,
look. Make. I don't want if he does go, I just don't want to have Gunther carry it and have the send off look real bad because you want if you want it to be a good match. So that's that. We'll quickly get into Royal Rumble. Like I said, can wrap this bad boy up. Just the two matches that aren't the Rumble, I believe, are Logan Paul and Kevin Owens for the United States title, and there was a uh, performance center little scuffle which went viral on the internet. So yeah, I mean that's that. And then the other match is the four-way for the world heavyweight title, the for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles, I believe,
yeah.
is that matchup. I mean, gonna have to go with Roman, and I can see either which way, but I'll probably end up going with Logan Paul to retain. Any thoughts on quickly on those two matches?
Yeah, it's Roman and Randy and AJ and LA Knight will be awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
it's uh it's a great fatal four way. We obviously all know Roman is gonna win, and it'll probably just lead to like Roman versus Randy at the next pay-per-view or something, but it'll be a great fight nonetheless. I love AJ Styles and LA Knight's been red hot and Randy coming off his return. Roman obviously being the big champ. It'll be a great match. Joe Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. I mean, that's I haven't been keeping up, so I don't know if the storyline has been interesting or anything, but I'm sure it will be a decent match. I mean, Logan Paul just signed an extension with WWE, I think more so full time. He's trying to take this more seriously, so I mean, he's been
I mean,
decent in
good
his
for him, but
promos.
he's a scumbag. So I mean,
Yeah, that's why at the end of the
it's just
day, I
such a
know
tough
how
look.
shitty of a person he is, and I'm sure they'll have a decent match. I'm sure
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is good, so
He knows how to carry. He knows how to perform. And honestly, this is the best one. This is the best time to do so. We were saying this off air. I mean, this is one of our besides Mania. Mania is its own beast, but Royal Rumble probably is one of the best pay-per-views, if not the best match, just in wrestling. Just it's so exciting. The opportunity itself, the entrance, all the surprise entrance, and we'll get to those and what we think that will happen there. And that's exactly that. I mean, I could see it where, I think Andrade will end up being there on the dude's side. X-Pac has actually been rumored for the surprise entrant as well. Probably get somebody from NXT, maybe like Braun Breaker. But the one I heard and the one I think could actually end up winning the whole thing, The Rock could make
yeah,
his return
that's what
and
I
win
was
and
thinking.
win the Rumble. I don't know about you, but if that happens, I don't know if I would stop laughing because I get it. Like it's a solid match still, Roman versus The Rock, but my goodness, again with the Rhodes can finish the story and bringing in Punk and this that and the other. If that's what ends up happening, I don't think I would stop laughing, but. Rhodes, good front runner. Punk, a good front runner. What were your thoughts on the men's side of things?
Um, yeah, I mean, I was thinking that exact thing. 'Cause I just feel like Roman's gonna play that role where it's like, well, why does The Rock deserve a shot? He hasn't done anything to deserve it. So the Royal Rumble would be a perfect thing to be like, oh, well, I won the Royal Rumble, so you have to give me a title shot
Yeah,
now. But yeah, I mean, I don't see Cody or I don't know. I see people saying Gunther might win so he can
there's
challenge a
yeah,
champion, and The Rock was the other one I was thinking. But yeah, if it had to be someone else, I mean, you have to go with like CM Punk or a guy like Cody again. But Cody just won a previous year, didn't he? I feel like
yeah. He did. He did.
didn't he just win last year to fight Roman? I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
Yeah, he can't. I don't know. He can't win 2 years in a row.
yeah. Running it
But
back to back would be tough.
But yeah, The Rock was the one big surprise on the men's side, I think, that they'll have. They're kind of lackluster in surprises the past couple of years, honestly. And I mean, understandable, not too
Yeah.
many legends to always pick from and use over time and time again, but I'm sure there'll be some cool, fun ones this
Booker T
year.
said he's ready to go.
Oh, great. We've seen him like 10, like 5 times make a
Get a
surprise
get a
appearance.
scissor kick, a spinneroonie, and as soon as he gets up from the spinneroonie, he's thrown over the top rope. Happens every time. Every time. 'Cause God
I
forbid
was just
he's like,
watching the other day that WWE just has them streaming on YouTube, the
yeah,
Royal Rumbles around this time. So when I'm working, I just have them on.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
always fun.
it was when the announcers were all coming in and JBL came in and they said it was like JBL's first Royal Rumble and they didn't even let him do a move or anything and he just got eliminated immediately. I was like,
Oh
come
my
on, dude, not even a clothesline from hell. What
God.
the fuck?
Oh my God, come on.
Give them their
Yeah, that's tough.
chance.
That's a tough one.
I just-
Men's Rumble has some good spots in there. Obviously, Kofi Kingston, his 16th Rumble, but I think that's what it is. 16. Fuck.
Wow.
I was also trying to think, being in Tampa, who's maybe a native. You're not gonna get the tease is there, but you're not gonna get Hogan. They took away one of his vertebrae. Like he's like 6 inches shorter than what he used to be. So not gonna happen. He's not getting in the ring anytime soon. Like I said, that's why I think the door is open for X-Pac. He's been very much rumored. I think he does live down there in that area. I was again also looking around and they said Dave Batista lives in Tampa, but he's kind of just done with wrestling. And Chris
Yeah.
Jericho, but he's on the Jericho cruise and a part of AEW, so not gonna happen.
That's not happening.
uh, I think that's basically it on the men's side of things. Like I said, we're both kind of on that side of the rock, but we can probably we'll recognize the chalk and see either CM Punk or Rhodes being the winner there. Women's side of
Yeah.
things, I'm kind of on the internet side. I can't really think of a better winner other than really Bailey. Most deserving. You can make the argument, 4 horsewomen. Hasn't done much lately, but very much deserving. Very much deserving. Can still have a good match and this, that, and the other. Uh, I think that's going to be the route there. Again, most deserving, maybe not, but you can make a good route for it anyways. Being that Rhea is the current champion as well as I'm not sure about the other world champion. Maybe it's Asuka or I don't know. Don't matter.
Yeah,
But
who is the other chick?
yeah, I have no idea. Is it Bianca still? Bianca Belair?
I don't think
Or I
so.
think
I
that I
don't
think she might have I think Rhea beat Bianca. I did.
yeah.
That's okay. I mean, that's a quick Google, but I
Again,
just
we're not too invested in it right
yeah,
now, so
like I
we
said,
don't
it's a
know
quick
all the
Google, but
champs.
I don't even really care for it. I think it'll end up being Bailey. I've heard secret entrants can be as along the lines of Trish
Jade.
Stratus, Lita, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, and when I
Jade
heard
Cargill.
Jade Cargill possibly making her big debut, and yeah, obviously I don't think she gets the W, but if she shows a good outing that she's made any sort of improvement in the ring, that's cool. Prove me wrong and I think she's the drizzling shits until she's not. So that's that. And then Naomi from TNA
Yes.
can make the flip. Just the TNA contract just wrapped up for after her hard to kill loss, so it's on the table. And then obviously married to one of the Usos, Jimmy or Jay. Don't want to.
Yeah, it's
Still can't get it right, but there it is. I think that's on the floor on the potential. Any one of those entrances intrigue you, or just my pick on Bailey being the winner?
yeah, that's a Bailey. Bailey was the one I was hearing too, because again, I was just trying to see what everyone was thinking. The WWE universe, as some would say.
It's so ridiculous.
Um, but yeah, Bailey would be a good one. She's definitely up there in talent with Charlotte and Becky and all the other women. I mean, I see people saying Sasha might return, and I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, or Alexa Bliss.
yeah, I I love Alexa too. She's always been great. I mean, Sasha, I wouldn't be surprised if she came back. She's always been a fan of Triple H, and now that like he's the one that's in charge, I feel like it's just completely different from when her and like Trinity Naomi left originally with the stuff that was going on. So I could see her coming back for sure, and maybe potentially, I mean, even winning the Royal Rumble. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But Sasha was the one that I was thinking would be a big return for them. And in terms of winning, I guess I can go with Bailey, but I can take Sasha or maybe no, I was gonna say Jade, but there's no way. I don't think that she's in that
You
position
think she
yet.
makes the final four when they're in the
May
ring and they cut that thing when they're all looking at each other and they all look at the
She
sign?
might, yeah. And,
Yeah.
that's because they haven't shown Jade at all except for the one time on NXT. So I don't know how much training she's done or like you said, how much better she's gotten,
Yeah.
but maybe she can surprise us and she looks good. So I'm very excited for this Royal Rumble to say it's a very one of the more Royal Rumbles I've been excited for in a while. I feel like it's already going to be way better than last year, so I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of up until the allegations or whatever, thought maybe Lesnar could have ran in and made that his own, but that's not on the table either. So
Yeah, because again, we all want to see Brock Lesnar do 20 suplexes and F5
yeah,
everyone and
yeah, exactly. No, I mean I just thought that's just so on the nose for WWE again. Just thought it would have been funny. But I think that's that. I mean, Royal Rumble's always set up for a solid one. We'll be there with chilling at my brother's. Ready to rock and roll, do a little gambling as we do. We'll get our numbers. We'll throw in our $10. We'll throw in our I think we're running with $10 this year. 10 for each rumble, and we'll most likely, depending on the numbers, we'll probably end up getting two each. So that works out. That's always fun. Can't wait. Can't wait. I think you took the pot last year, didn't you?
no, I think it was one of my first years we that I went there I won, but
Okay.
lately I don't know who. I can't remember who won last year. You
Okay.
won one of these previous
Yeah,
times,
not the.
didn't
I
you?
don't think it was the last year, but the year before. So yeah, that was always good. I think it was Vince. I think Vince got one because of Rhea Ripley.
And one of your other brother's buddies, I think,
Yeah,
won.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So that's always fun. Like I said, always fun.
I
It
always look
makes it more
forward to that.
interesting. Yeah, but it is always brutal when you're like, fuck, I got Dana Brooke. Are you kidding me? Well, obviously we won't have to deal with that because she's Ash by Never Roddy or whatever the
Yeah,
fucking
stole
TNA now.
Tony Storm's gimmick.
Yeah, stole my flow, bar for bar, word for word. But if we're good on that, we're good on the Rumble, good on everything else. I think that caps off episode 53 in the books. Good link, check, please. Thank you, very cool. Shutting it down. This was a long one, but a good one. We had tons of stuff to talk about and tons of stuff to talk about everywhere else. Indeed, we got blow the whistle. I'm on blow the whistle. Basically, if you follow twitch.tv/sportstownshy, you'll I'll be around. I'll be on that fucking platform. I'm always on Twitch. So between blow the whistle on Mondays and Wednesdays 2 to 4, I got the live show No Substitute for Sports live on Thursdays 2 to 3. That's always fun. Doing the sports pit, the TV side of things. We'll be switching back to the radio soon enough. So again, daily stuff on there. No Substitute for Sports on here. So thank you very much for subscribing to the Degenerates Network YouTube page. Share us around. X, Twitter, @Degenerates. That's us. That's everywhere. Again, Mikey, every single time, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to be a part of this. Alan,
Anytime.
Alan, thank you for taking your notes or trying. Troy, I know you actually are taking your notes, so thank you very much for that. And he's going to be coming in with the I think a December recap, a January preview, what's to come Kentucky wise. So stay tuned for that. We'll be waiting and locked and loaded on that. So if we're good on that, again, thank you very much for watching. Be back next time, next week.
Boom.
Bye bye. See yous.